All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the finale of the Swain Batty League Season 10. I am 30, and tonight I am joined by AJS Hero and Hook Resets for a TriCast of the finals. How are you two doing tonight?
I am really stoked to be here. We've got a wonderful, rare event in the SBL, but we've got an exhibition match coming at you between the reigning champs, SUCC Squad, and the challengers, 4 Eggplants. And it's going to be messy, but God bless these guys for, doing what's like one of those challengers versus golds things you do a lot of the big streamers do. It's going to be like that, I think.
Okay.
And I'm really excited to see what the golds have in them,
Five golds against how many challenges?
I hear you.
Oh. Too many. Oh, there's a Leona ban against Sensory, actually. I wonder if he's been practicing that after, That support played at Worlds, right? And he went Fervor and got a 2v.
Ignar. Misfits, Ignar. And then Wolf tried it out in the finals. But, yeah. Anyway, World Finals, SBL Finals. Honestly, I think this is going to be probably more exciting than the World's Finals.
Okay.
Throw that out there. I think there's going to be some more twists and turns. So far in the ban phase, Hecarim, Leona, Swain banned on the blue side from the SUCC Squad. Katarina, Sinch, and Rammus banned from 4EP, so they're not allowing Frag to do Frag things with that Sinch pick up in the top lane.
Yeah, I don't blame them. The thing is, with Singe, you want to camp the hell out of Singe. Master Splinter never wants to go in a game from level 1 saying, I have to go to this lane all day. He needs more freedom than that to do really everything about his play style. So I'm not surprised he's just saying, like, nah, I'm opting out of this one, dog.
Yeah, very fair. And that opens up for a first pick Xayah for the SUCC Squad. So one of Camer's most favorite and best champions left open for the taking here. See what they can do from that. Crystallize answers with a Kog'Maw pick on the 4EP, and they actually secure a devastating Arden Sensor combo with Lulu in the bottom lane for 4EP.
Yeah, I like these first 2 picks out of 4EP. I've been kind of talking myself into 4EP's chances all week, whereas, before the semifinal, I would have said there was no chance they win whatsoever. I now think there's a low chance, but I'm starting to see the win conditions here, and going to late game is a big part of it, and trying to out-team fight the SUCC Squad. And with Kog'Maw Lulu, they're going to have a very powerful late game, pretty much regardless of what else they draft.
So the only difference between right now Kog'Maw Lulu is Kog'Maw really doesn't have a good mobility escape, which Lulu makes up for, obviously. But Xayah is just so her ulti is so strong that she basically will never go out of meta unless they just nerf her to the ground. I think the Shyvana pick was to try to lock down Kog'Maw, but sometimes with the Lulu it's just impossible at some point.
Now with another big Sword and Mace champ coming out, the Kennen going to be the last pick of the first round here for Sword and Mace. That's a lot of peel for a Shyvana to walk through. The Lulu and the Kennen, just by team fighting, are going to be offering a lot of protection from that Shyvana for Kog'Maw. And, I mean, that's a very vintage Thermidor pick. We know he's very good on the champ. But I think this first phase has gone exactly according to plan for Master Splinter. But of course, it's probably also gone exactly according to plan for SUCC Squad, who, regardless of how much we're talking about 4EP's chances, the SUCC Squad are massive favorites in this match. They have not dropped a game yet this season, and they've looked very dominant. Really, in spite of whatever they even try to run, these guys are just so good in all 3 lanes that they pretty much steamroll through all their competition. And they're doing some pretty standard SUCC Squad shit over there.
Yeah, looks like both teams are assembling pretty comfortable picks here. Joey, no bans on his main core. Sona, Janna, goes straight for the Nami, which he's found a lot of success in recent matches with. Maybe help the Shyvana lock some people down with the lack of CC from there. But last ban is coming up for the SUCC Squad. Last 2 for EP was Darius and Syndra. And we're not going to let Splinter have Rek'Sai this game. I think in this last one, and a timeout. Yeah, someone disconnected from 4AP, so we thought that was going to happen. We will remake.
You know, back in the good old days when the top laner did all the bans, you didn't have to worry about this stuff.
True.
Is it a full remake of the draft, or?
Nope, just where we left off.
To talk about the bot lane a little more, Albino Joe, for being a Janna player, he has been preferring Nami, I think, because he can just sit on the ADC's face and just W him and E him and just basically be trading. And if your support and ADC on the other side aren't working together, then he's just gonna get free trades. He kind of did that against us a little bit. When I was on Rakan, I didn't have the range for it yet, so he just bullied us early a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a nice aggressive pick, and he's shown me a lot of good aggressive play when he has played it this season. So I definitely like what the SUCC squad's got for their bot lane. Granted, though, 4AP choosing a very strong meta bot lane for themselves as well, and Crystallize, especially last week, has been really stepping up for his team in a big way, and they're looking like they want to recreate that success from the bottom lane today.
Yeah, it was really fun watching 4EP in the semifinal because before the draft, we kind of talked about this team drafted 3 lower tier AD carries, and they were going to have all season to figure out which one worked best. And as the regular season, they were experimenting a lot. I believe they played all 3 of their guys that could play at AD carry, and they actually brought Crystallize in, game 3 of the quarterfinals when they're down 0-2. That turned into a reverse sweep. They also won pretty convincingly last week. And it looks like, here in the playoffs, they have settled into picking the best AD carry for their roster. And this is a team I think is much better than they were in the group stage.
Yeah, it seems like they kind of have the SKT effect where they've only gotten stronger as the tournament has gone on. And here we are at the climax of the tournament, see what they can bring against a team that seemingly hasn't gone up or down. They've stayed at this incredibly steady rate of success. But maybe 4AP is going to find the formula to mix that up. Alright, I'm just working through the last bands here. Kenan, have we seen Bestis 1 flex that, or is that surely going top lane with Sword and Mace?
We have not seen that flexed yet.
Yeah, all signs would point towards a Kenan in the top lane for Sword and Mace. Couldn't really imagine it any other way. It's a pretty safe blind pick in the top lane, especially going up against someone like Freg, who has shown an unconventional champion pool. Garen, Singed. Really, what's next for this guy?
I mean, Garen's the only pick that I think that he's been picking that is unconventional left open. But would you really want to pick that into a Kenan?
No, you would not. But Frank's a madman, and we're not ruling anything out until it's locked in.
And there it is. It was a Nocturne. That's as I was about to say. I expected another jungle ban, and on the last 3 ones for the SUCC squad, they hit Master Splinter hard.
Yeah, those are good last bans. Pick out the strongest gankers that we've seen Splinter playing regularly, because you don't want him to be able to just totally fuck your lanes up while your Thermidor trying to do your Shyvana stuff, power farm the jungle. And if this gets locked in here, this is a very good answer out of Master Splinter. Going to be Jarvan locked in. All signs point to that going in the jungle. And, if I'm Master Splinter, I'm saying, why the hell is everyone talking up Devout Milk so much? I'm better than Devout Milk. Let me show you how it's done. And that's a tall order for Master Splinter, because Devout Milk has been an excellent Jarvan this season. But I am very excited to watch this, as there are now some very good combos on this team with the Jarvan Kog'Maw and the Jarvan Kennen available.
Yeah, I mean it's great setup, great initiation with the Kennen and the Jarvan, and you have kind of this late game assurance policy here in Kog'Maw. If Crystallize is not, feeding in the laning phase and slowly makes his way through the mid to late game, it really only takes one of those big AoE CCs to land for Kog'Maw to get that time to shred out one of the front lines from SUCC Squad. And the last pick for the SUCC Squad is gonna be a Vladimir and a Kassadin. So what? Interesting. Vlad used to be a top laner way back in the day. I mean, maybe still is. I don't.
That has to be going to the top lane. The idea of a Kassadin top lane, especially into a Kennen, just seems nuts. So
Yeah.
I'm going to assume Vladimir in the top lane, as that would also fit more with both of these guys' pools. As our last pick of the draft going to be an Ahri, but
Nope, that is a Malzahar.
All right, so Malzahar, the highest win rate champion from the 2017 World Championships. I have turned into a big fan, and that should be a pretty good matchup into the Kassadin for obvious reasons. So,
Yeah, so Malzahar, last pick confirmed. Losing Sensor GG again there on the disco, so we'll see how we play this one out.
Was that a disconnect, or was that just him dropping for the remake?
I'm not sure, but it can find you. Yeah, I think so, but can't really tell. But
he's at least on TeamSpeak. I don't see him. Or I don't actually have him at. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't see him dropping from TeamSpeak at all, so I think he was just dropping for the remake. So we're good.
All right, for the last time.
Talking about the last picks for SUCC Squad here, with the Vlad and the Kassadin coming out. I gotta be blunt and say I really don't like those as the last two picks for that team comp. They've now assembled a team with 3 different split pushes, with Kassadin, Vlad, and Shyvana all going to try to opt into that later in the game. And you don't have 3 lanes that you can split push in League of Legends.
I must not fall.
yeah,
They also don't have an obvious wave clear champ for when they're trying to hold while they let split pushing happen. So this is a team that's going to simultaneously want to split push, but also want to be grouped because they can't withstand a big siege. And Kog'Maw, very good at sieging. Malzahar, very good at sieging.
That's strange. It's almost like they're playing for the lane, but they're playing scaling champions for the lane. In Vladimir and Kassadin. So
what is what's Zaya scaling like?
Zaya,
I would say a solid like B tier. So I would say champs like Tristana are the A level, champs like Kog'Maw, Jinx are the S level for scaling. So it comfortably in the upper half of AD carries, but not a hyper carry.
yeah, she still can do a lot of damage with her feathers if given the right situation, but she's also super short range, where she has to be pretty close to be autoing you. And if you're autoing Shyvana, it's a little bit scary, but they're definitely. Or sorry, Shyvana's on his team. If what's his name? Jarvan can actually get the good engage. I almost would have preferred him going Janna here just to stop Jarvan and Kennen, to be honest.
Yeah, the Kennen was locked in.
After the Nani.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So, then yeah, he really wants to go for the engage, not the disengage. Granted, it's not the best of all of the sports, but it is some form of CC that the SUCC Squad is bringing in. I know we were talking about maybe before the broadcast, or maybe we talked about it a little already. But Swift, you were saying going into this match for AP, they're drafting pretty solid in the last few matches, and today it seems like they're still ruling out in that.
Cowardice.
Yeah, and this is just what I expect. Splinter knows how to draft at this point. We very rarely see his teams botch drafts. I mean, if your LCS team's out there watching this, fucking give this guy a ring, because he will pick the champs that your guys can play, and they will have some semblance of a composition put together. And that's already like top 5 in the NALCS territory.
Yeah, probably. uh, yeah, this lineup from Suck Squad, it's more perplexing the more I look at it, for sure. It's a lot of magic damage too. Really, I mean, there's only one reliable form of physical damage. Shyvana gonna be a lot of damage early on, but it's really in that mid to late game. Can she even get onto the Kog'Maw before she goes down?
Especially with Malzahar.
Yeah. Yeah, so really, the Suck Squad, their win condition's all about not staying grouped. Split pushing with the double TP here. Maybe Shyvana can split push some lanes as well, but 4EP, once again, always looking for the team fight.
I think that might be the way of beating. If there was a way of beating this team, that then out team fighting them would be this. They've definitely looked messier on team fights. I think that when they win team fights, they win them super hard and just 5-0 them. But when they lose, it's almost calm fiesta.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is sort of hidden by their strong laning. They've always seemed to get like 2 out of the 3 lanes ahead in some shape or form. So that sort of just propels them into that team fighting stage with those big leads. But if they don't, especially with these champions, like we've been saying, they scale super hard, but there is a ramp up time there. So if 4EP can kind of capitalize that and get them down early, 4EP can easily look for the grouping and then finishing out the game.
All right, and just real quick, in case you guys did not notice, it is Freg on the Kassadin, Death Reapers on the Vladimir.
Oh,
so
I knew it.
Surprise,
Freg. You just got fragged. That's this should be an interesting one. I mean, yeah, Death Reapers.
I guess we should have seen it coming.
Yeah, I mean, he's played a bunch of Vlad, so I guess we could have thought of that a little bit. But Vlad into the Malzahar. Speak to me about this matchup. Anybody?
It's gonna be an advantage bestest one. Vlad does not have the wave clear early on to keep up with what Mal's can push out, and I don't think this really changes a thing for the bestest one. He's not going to have quite as much kill threat as he would have had on a Kassadin, but he's still going to be comfortable shoving that in the tower and setting up for players with Master Splinter. And this now gives them a huge advantage, theoretically, in the top lane. Kennen should be able to bully the hell out of Kassadin in a long lane, and we should see Master Splinter going up there on a regular gank schedule. But it's Sword and Mace. Like, we've seen him. We know the best Sword and Mace situation is when he's playing into a losing matchup. It's kind of rare to see him in a winning matchup to just really steamroll through. So this might be what Frag wanted, knowing that, like, hey, I don't think Sword and Mace is going to put as much pressure on me as his matchup would say he should. And he feels like he'll be able to farm things out into the later stage of the game. And then, obviously, the Kassadin will come online. So, assuming that's Frag in the top lane and they don't have like a role swap going on, top lane is turned into the lane to watch for me.
Right. Yeah. It's a big discrepancy that we maybe didn't imagine. Right. Frag has been performing extraordinarily well. Granted, I mean, it's on these unconventional picks, so it's hard to gauge whether it's just pure skill matchup or just sort of catching the opponent off guard. But here he is in a disadvantageous situation. So. Can he pull out the same performances he has in the past?
Can he ward correctly so that Splinter doesn't just keep on coming top lane against a Kassadin who has no mobility pre-6?
Yes. You bring up a good point. I remember Freg's debut game this season. Swift was calling it out. He's like, welcome to the SBL, man, because he was playing that sort of dumb top laner mentality where you just don't ward and you keep fighting after getting the first blood, and Splinter will prey on that.
There are 4 TPs in this game as well. Something I haven't seen often in the SBL games. So that says that one of these teams is going to be wanting to 1-3-1 basically at all times.
Yeah, and that will be the Suck Squad, most certainly.
Kennen isn't a bad split pusher in his own rights, I would say.
True, but isn't there sort of two different build style or build paths you would do for that. One for split push and one for like burst
Yeah,
fighting.
there's the AD cannon, which is
Yeah.
better split pushing. But AP can still wave clear if he's alone with a wave. Just EW the wave, and it pretty much clears later on.
Nice. Yeah, and here we are, game 1, folks. SBL Grand Finals. Don't think we're going to see much level 1 action unless someone face checks this bush on the blue side. Maybe they're going to move in as a group. King is going to the pixel brush for the SUCC squad.
Yep, Cassid and Vladimir Siobhan on level 1. I can't imagine this. Please don't.
Anything's possible.
Are you ruling out the level 1 bubble trouble?
You know, you can't because there's all 5 of them against probably like 2 people who would show up. But the best I can hope for is like a flash, I'd say.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, it's just
they all
boring level 1.
Yeah.
Oh man. This game feels like it's just gonna be farming everywhere, and then top lane is the only thing I even care about.
Yeah, I hope direct to camera chooses right here for us tonight. Usually picks bot lane, it seems like, in this whole season, at least since I've been spectating this year. But who knows?
I can imagine a lot of trading coming bot lane, just because it's Lulu against Nami. And Nami normally actually loses this just because she can't really out-sustain it if she keeps Wing incorrectly.
Right, yep. And Albino Joe starting off this match very well. The double bubble, and Sensory GG's already chunked halfway here. Albino Joe once again showing off his Nami skills.
Yeah, Crystallize and Sentry gotta be really careful not to lose the level 2 race here and take a big trade. That's something Albino Joe and Cameron have been very good at doing. Yes, fortunately they did not take any big level 2 trades there. And actually, a nice trade coming out of Crystallize. Gets a ton of autos down. Although, dog, step into the bush, dog! The creeps, they stop hitting you when you do that.
Yeah, like you said, resets, man. It's all trading down here in the bot lane, almost non-stop. There's minions there too.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind though in a lane like this is since there is a heal, although we maybe won't have a chance as Master Splinter. No, just getting my hopes up in the mid lane, but not actually going in. Just maybe was dropping a ward there. Joe and Cameron can feel confident in losing some early trades here as they do have a heal, but maybe not losing these trades as much as they currently are, as Crystallize nearly generating a kill there, although he takes a lot of creep damage on the retreat. Ooh, Sentry with a big bubble! But no, Summoner's still able to be saved here.
Both of these bot lanes are playing it real patient with summoner spells. No one's blowing the load quite yet.
Ooh, Sword Mace taking a big tower shot there. I assume we're going to be seeing him recall. But as far as these first levels goes, Crystallize playing this very far forward from Sentry GG. He is going to have to pop a heal here. I think he's still going to go down. He flashes out. Nice exhaust comes out. Now Albino Joe flashing forward. Meanwhile, directed camera taking it up to the top lane as both of these bot laners are going to walk out. But that is 4 summoners blown from the 4 eggplants.
Wow, so I sub 50 HP there, maybe even less. Incredible. I mean, Crystallize really just all out by himself. But Thermidor coming around on Sword and Mace, flashes towards his tower. Frag looking for the confirm on the kill there. Splinter there for the disengage, and both members of 4AP have to fall back.
Yeah, and that is pretty much the story of 4EP's season. We talk about all draft how we don't think these are, you know, great matchups for them, and then they just win these early levels anyways. And they are suddenly in such a good spot going into this mid game.
Yeah, they have CS leads in all 3 lanes. And Death Reaper CZ, you gotta really credit this guy all season long. He is in a fantastic laning phase. Very high CS numbers as well.
Yeah, he's gonna be sitting here on a nice 10 CS lead off these first few waves, so We haven't really seen much of the mid lane. Not sure exactly how this has been playing out, but much better for this matchup than we expected it to go for the Vlad. Maybe Bess is going to need to kind of get his first spend in before we're going to see Mal's time really come online.
Malzahar got a lot of nerfs after his little adventure in the support lane. So
Yeah.
it does make sense that he can't beat a Vlad maybe as much as we're used to seeing. But it's the fact that he's just getting out CS'd shouldn't mean anything really. I think that he's just not CSing well right now. Vlad shouldn't be able to pressure him this much.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking must have been the case. And meanwhile in the top lane, another guy not CSing super well has been Sword and Mace. He's been being out CS'd by Freg despite having generated lane pressure so far. That was the case before the gank even.
Yeah, he returns with a blasting wand. That's an aggressive purchase in the laning phase. No sustain needed from Freg today, but meanwhile bot lane, 4 EP bot lane gets chunked out again.
Yeah, that's rough. This 4 EP bot lane really needs to try not to be trading right now. They're sitting on a dagger up against 2 longswords on Cammer, and we do see both junglers are coming down the river there. Splinter has to jump over the wall to opt out of that engagement.
Yeah, and surprisingly, we haven't seen Splinter show up for a gank of his own. He's really only been there for maybe some pressure. He dodged out of a mid lane gank earlier, but he was in the top lane to try to defend Sword and Mace. But Thermidor, he visited top, he got that flash out of Sword and Mace. He's still keeping the farm up like he always has in true Thermidor style. Already has that first recall with the recurve bow.
Thermidor up 200 gold and do a nice bubble landing on a crystallized. Remember, he does not have summoners available, so he gets really chunked out here. That should be a recall forced out of Cammer.
Yeah, and the waves, it bounced back a little bit too, so they're gonna have to wait till that wave crashes into tower. Jungler though not there in the bottom lane to potentially set up a tower dive Thermidor on the top side.
I think Crystallize is way too used to playing Kog'Maw against people who don't know how to play Xayah trading correctly, because he's just standing still.
Oh, there it is. The bubble comes in, and his hubris is used against the Crystallized, giving up first blood.
Oof.
It's just the
That was just
positioning.
bad. That was just very, very bad out of Crystallize. There was zero excuse to stick in that lane with all 4 summoners down. His heal might have been back up at that point. Actually, I'm going to double check that.
Yeah, he's just constantly getting hit by these bubbles from Albino Joe, just not respecting that range. You really cannot stand in range of the bubble.
Yeah, and his heal was 8 seconds from coming up when he died there.
Not a faker, but it was close.
Yeah, and now laning gonna get even more difficult, sitting on that recurve bow going up against the BF sword, double longsword out of Cammer. As this gold lead up to almost 2,000 gold at 8:30 here out of the SUCC squad, just from outlaning in all 3 lanes.
One of the problems about Xayah is she's one of the only ADCs who can actually like make pressure on her own without the support's help. So he can just keep bullying Crystallize with these W's and the E's if he's not gonna respect feathers.
Yeah, we do have Master Splinter now staying at level 6. His best is one taking a huge trade here. He does not have a teleport available. Oh, now meanwhile on the top lane, Sword Mace also taking a big trade, but he gets a nice stun onto Freg. Freg getting dicked on by the creep damage.
Wait, just ult him, yeah, get him!
Out.
Sword Mace did not follow with the flash there.
He didn't have W up, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
So,
but how many, like 4 rounds of missiles from those range creeps Freg took there. Unexpected damage from the creep wave, and he has to back out. No flash though blown. He is level 7 now, having that rift block available. And Splinter returned with the Tiamat for the Jarvan, and now he looks to make his first appearance in the bot lane, going
Yeah, I
through
was
the
just
lane
gonna
push.
say, he is level 6 now. He can't keep someone down. Meanwhile, Death Reaper's flash in the mid lane gets a nice pop onto the bestest one. Meanwhile, on the bot one, Albino Joe playing forward. Splinter has to gets the knockup onto the Nami, and then Nami is getting lit up. A kill onto the Kog'Maw.
Well, straight up 1v1 kill there in the mid lane from Death Reaper. Just having the damage, poking Bess's1 down every time, and bottom lane a good counter, or a good I guess hidden gank there. Started playing off the aggressiveness of Albino Joe that he's been expressing in the lane so far.
Funny how Cameron barriered, thinking he had healed to save him.
Oh, and Albino Joe not using heal. So yeah.
Or flash, yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think if he would have flashed, Splinter's kept his ult just in case. Really good by him. Patience there.
Yeah, and with Nami still walking back, SUCC Squad, they start this dragon. They have the scuttle down, but there's going to be a lot of members of 4EP coming into this. Splinter using that ultimate, locks up 2 members of the SUCC Squad. Thermidor is the first one to go down. Death Reaper, though, returning the kill back onto Crystallize. The dragon is still up. Who's going to get it? Splinter confirms the Windrake, and looks like SUCC Squad, they're still chasing 4EP on the route.
Yeah, looking like that should end up being disengaged. So it's gonna be a 1-for-1, but the water dragon,
Ocean Dragon, yeah,
secured by the 4 eggplants.
Yeah, I guess they'll take it. It's kind of a handoff there from SUCC Squad. They started it without the numbers. They had the vision, but it's still a risky gamble there with the support still walking back. No teleport used from the top lane either from Frag for the support because he is incredibly low. Swordmace is looking for it, but Swordmace just walks under tower and dies?
That was awful. That was absolutely awfully played by Swordmace. He was trying so hard to play around the tower aggro right. Bro, that's Caston. He's got an ult that's gonna give him mobility. Ugh.
I mean, Frag's even... Well, wow. Like I think we're all kind of perplexed on what was going on there. But Frag now, with his top lane adversary dead, he looks for the mid lane. We're just gonna lay down some vision.
Wow. His mistake was just hesitating on that. He could have just ulted him immediately.
Yeah, but meanwhile in this mid lane, Vladimir finally being punished for the way he's playing this lane. Splinter is showing up, and Splinter finally coming online in this game, but it almost feels like it could be too little too late. Although there is a nice roam here for Swordmace. I think this might be the first tower.
Oh, the
As
wave.
Albino Joe tossing out the wave aggressively now. Flash forward on a camera. Crystallize is a long way from home and he cannot put out much damage. He is trying to do what he can as the Lulu comes out, and actually this pug ball is surviving a lot longer than I thought. There are a lot of members roaming down from the mid lane, and Crystallize is going to make it out with just Sensory GG's flash and ult expended.
Wow, that actually a big turnaround play for 4EP, as you can see the gold now just 700 shy of SUCC Squad's lead. They got Cammer's flash out of that as well, and they ran in the right direction towards their team and picking up that first brick as well in the mid lane. Bot lane,
Here we go, a big showdown in the bot lane, and Cammer, you are a long way from home as Cammer's trying to ult away from this one, but he is not making it out alive. Swordmace picks up that kill, being traded for the top lane turret by Frag though.
Yeah, five members chasing Cammer. We're gonna see that scenario happen again tonight. They get the kill, and they get SUCC Squad. They pick up the Rift Herald as well, along with that top lane tower, as you noticed.
Yeah, honestly, this was a bad trade out of the SUCC Squad. And Death Reapers is going in 1v everybody. Picks up the kill on the Crystallize, and now he's just waiting for a cooldown reset. He wants this Lulu, but Master Splinter's gonna lock him up. It's gonna be a 1-for-1. But still, this is, I think, a huge win for Cammer's SUCC Squad. That was a 5-man roam to the bot lane, and it ultimately ends up being a 1-for-2 kill trade, while they're giving up pressure in both of their solo lanes.
Yeah, the Frag train kept on chugging as he nearly hits 100 CS here, and the Rift Herald by Thermidor making his way up there with his buddy. Teleport from Bess's1 is going to be channeled as they turn around the Melzahar ult onto Frag, who goes way too deep. And I don't think they have the support to finish off that tower.
They do not going to just be the one chunk out of Shelly there onto the turrets, although they will, I think, get bot lane tower out of this, although maybe not. It's gonna be closer. We'll see if Splinter wants to go for an engage. He does not have the flank available, and a nice bubble out of Albino Joe. Now Master Splinter in a lot of trouble. A heal coming up. Cameron actually playing this very aggressively, looking like he's gonna have to trade his life. So a kill onto Albino Joe and another kill onto Crystallize here. And that's gonna, you know, be a win for the 4 eggplants.
Yeah. Cameron's just so okay with dying there. He like, I think he just told Joe like, I'm dying here. Just like, blow it all. We're killing Splinter. There's just no way out of that.
There really wasn't a point, as if he just waited like a couple more seconds, they would have just gotten the tower, and they would have gotten more gold.
Yeah. Yeah, 4AP though, with a kill lead, 7-6, but the gold lead's still in favor of the SUCC squad.
Yeah, but this gold gap has been shrinking a little bit. This is good for 4EP, because this was starting to look like a runaway laning train by SUCC squad. As now see Crystallize in a lot of danger here. He does have a flash available. A nice Lulu ult and a nice flash out of Crystallize. They are juking the shit out of Thermidor here, who's now going to take not a lot of damage on the retreat, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, a 0-1-0 Thermidor and Shyvana, it's something that we're not used to seeing, honestly. He usually either has an incredible CS lead at this point over his opponent jungler, or he has been just picking up the kill confirms and just getting super big on Shyvana through kill gold, but neither is happening tonight, and they might have to start fearing that they're not going to be able to take out Crystallize as easy as they thought they did. Bestiswan uses that ult on the Death Reaper in the mid lane, but Thermidor was behind him and ready there for the support. Flash blown from Bestiswan, and he goes down.
And Death Reapers is starting to get very, very big in this matchup. As this looking like it will turn into the mid lane turret. We do have the bot lane roaming up for SUCC squad. And now this could be a map blown wide open from the SUCC squad. With all 3 tier 1 turrets down. We'll see how their shot calling looks at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one thing that might have gotten them caught in a bad spot. But Sword Mace, he gets caught in a bad spot because Frag turns around the kill, the flash from Frag. He gets the Rip Walk out of the Cataclysm. Splinter, though, with the flash Q to finish it off, but it's traded for the Dragon on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, fortunately only a Cloud Drake going down there, so it could be worse. But once again, just poorly played by Sword Mace, who just doesn't seem to respect the fact that he can die in this game.
And Frag is bloodthirsty, man. He's ramping up. He's taking his Kassadin pick to the extreme.
And you will 100% take these trades if you're Frag. You are going to scale into so much more of a monster than the Kennen. You're sitting there, your goal right now is to be stacking that Rod of Ages, not pressuring a tier 2 turret. The fact that he's still able to pressure that tier 2 turret and pull kill trades out of his ass anytime somebody shows up to try and stop him, he has got to be so happy heading into this, you know, mid game here that he's going to be in a great spot come late.
And the Banshee's Veil, first item out of Kennen. I think that's
awful. There is no way to sugarcoat this, and I've really liked a lot of what Sword Mace has been doing this season. That is just punting this game to the 40+ minute phase.
You're just not gonna do any damage.
Yeah, he's literally worthless. They can now just ignore the Slicing Maelstrom entirely. You can never go first item defense on an offensive character like that. Like
we did say this was a winning lane.
You have to swap your lanes around or something. You know, put Malzahar up there. You know, call up extra ganks. Play to your tier 2 turret instead of trying to play to the river. You cannot build a Banshee's Veil as your first item on Kennen.
But he absorbs the Q from Kassadin, and Frag going in too deep, but maybe 4EP playing to that weakness, and they take him out in the top lane. They group up with 4 in the mid or in the top lane.
Literally classic Frag, just no wards anywhere in the river. Anywhere, and he goes forwards to try to trade with Sword. Seems silly.
See, the Demacia going forward, but maybe Mesh Splitter split very away from his team as the Vladimir is going forward. He's playing this one very aggressively, but he's on his own train. Jesus, that heal was huge. Now Master Splitter is the one in no man's land. Death Reaper splashing forward, putting down the big damage onto the puppy, and that puppy is going straight to hell. Now Death Reaper still camping out under his turret. He is playing this one out so well, and now backs this one in the 1 versus 2. Going to go down to Camber here. A huge series of wins for the SUCC squad yet again. As now, oh no, Frag showing up with the deep teleport. A Lulu going to flash stupidly. Dies anyways. Sword Mace does not make it to the blast cone. And this looked like the game blowing wide open points that SUCC squad was waiting for.
I do not. I'm like flabbergasted at how they're doing this. Like, what's going on? This Crystallize should probably already have a thing for anti-healing of Nami and Vladimir. Even though it's kind of early, it wouldn't be bad to get as soon as you can right now. Because that healing just gave Vladimir half of his HP back. And he has a Spirit of Visage, so...
Yeah, it's gonna get real bad. A poorly executed dive in the top lane, and Death Reaper and Albino Joe hold it off. No one dies there, but meanwhile, a 2v1 force in the bot lane, and SUCC squad pick up the easy kill on Bessus one there, and another tower 4-1. And like you said, Swift, it's completely blown out now. 6k gold lead. It's all about putting the pressure on these lanes now. Teleports up for Death Reaper. What can 4EP do here? How can they farm this one out? Have to keep wards on the Baron.
We wonder how does Cameron's team like play with these garbage team comps? They don't have any team fight. Like, how do they do this? They just kill them.
Yeah,
that's the thing is their comp is really in the best situation it could be in right now. Which I mean, as cheesy as that feels to say about a team that's up 6,000 gold at 22 minutes, obviously a very good situation. But they're now in a phase of the game where it's going to be non-stop skirmishes, and they have picks that should be able to do well in these constant skirmishes.
4EP can't slow this game down and let Kog'Maw get like 3 more items. This game's so over. Real sad.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. They are now grouping up though, playing it safe. They don't want to get picked out anymore on a side lane and having SUCC squad pick it up or pick some objective up on the other side of the map. The control board though from SUCC squad's in the Baron pit, so they're gonna try to keep baiting this one out.
Yeah, and if we ever do see SUCC squad start to bait Baron, this is gonna be so scary for 4EP. You do not want to run into those guys around the Baron pit.
No sir, and Cameron picking up the Quicksilver Sash, not opting for another damage item. Only sitting on the Essence Reaver and Static Shiv, but I mean he does have the farm and he is well ahead on the curve compared to Crystallize.
Yeah, and that's, you know, what does everyone say when you're playing against a Malzahar? You build the QSS third. That's just part of the game, and it's great to see Cameron playing with this level of respect, especially in a game like this where he's not the carry. Death Reapers and Frag are, and as we see, they're going to force that flash out of the best this one.
Something I was going to commend 4EP for is this forming. They had like five control wards in their inventory, but they're still getting cut out.
Still having to blow the flash there, yeah. You just don't want to go into these fights with a disadvantage like that, especially against a mobile champ like Kassadin. But the Baron, I think that was Cameron hitting the Baron. It looks like it started. Bessus one, his teleport's technically not even up yet. He was in the bottom lane trying to farm that one out. Frank going over the wall and picking out Sensory GG. The beautiful wave cuts through the jungle of 4EP. A double kill for Frag, make it 3. And he gets suppressed and goes down. But actually the jungler goes down for SUCC squad as well. So Baron avoided for now.
Yeah, not super well played there out of 4EP, but played well enough to save the Baron. I mean, they have to take that. It's fortunately just the Windrake that's on the map, so they'll probably lose a turret here and kind of call it quits for the day. But man, that looked like it was going to go so much worse for 4EP.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that was almost the best case scenario of a team fight they could have. Is Splinter was in a cataclysm with Sword ulting both, like all 3 people, and Kog'Maw being free hitting. The only problem was Kog'Maw got hit by the wave, which was well done by Albino Joe. If Albino Joe didn't wave there, then I'm pretty sure 4EP could have won that.
Yep, so they take the Constellation Windrake, make it 2 for them this game. And picking up the tier 2 mid tower as well. Sensor GG in the Baron River looking to take out this control ward. But Terminator's coming, yep, get out of there. Oh boy, we're a near Flame Horizon for Camera over Crystallize.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 2,500 gold in favor of the big dicked boy himself. And that just... the farm has been allocated so poorly out of 4 eggplants this game. We saw it, obviously, before with the teleport that was on cooldown, fastest one being the one to show up to the bot lane. But there have just been little mistakes being made all game long, where these guys have not been managing to take all of the farm off of the map. And that really needs to be priority number 1 in a lot of League of Legends games. This Thermidor is coming in off link here, but he's not going to unleash the dragon yet. All 10 players are here, so this could turn into a fight.
Yeah, that could have been real explosive. If that bubble landed, I think everyone on SUCC Squad goes in and starts that fight. And I don't know if they've been tracking summoners, but Crystallize, he's only halfway up on that flash cooldown, so looking for a fight now. Could, I mean, spell, I guess, the game-winning push, perhaps. I mean, maybe a Baron for sure, but surely into a spot 4AP might not be able to climb out of.
Oh, yeah, maybe gonna look for this pick onto the Vladimir. Obviously a tough one to pick, but they're blowing a lot of things here. Vladimir going down, but he is still not dead. And a teleport is being jumped through. Camera is picked up Crystallize on the flank here. And there is a frag coming in on the flank. Going to try frag it out. And it's going to be a disaster for the 4 eggplants. Throw those out because they are rocked.
The 5-for-0 play and the Baron. SUCC Squad extend their lead to infinity. And surely a game 1 victory here in this best of 5 tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty impossible to imagine even a Master Splinter team pulling off a comeback at this point, since we're now 13,000 and a Baron. And this is going to be the easiest Baron to execute, because they can send any players they want to the side lanes and have the pressure they're trying to generate.
Oh yeah, it's almost too easy, because they're gonna get Baron effectiveness in 3 lanes all at once. And 4EP, I don't think they have the champs or the wave player really to dig themselves out of this one. It's Malzahar's going to be their best defense as far as that goes, but he can only cover 1 lane.
The awkwardness about this Malzahar pick right now is, sure, you can stop one of the carries, but there's literally 4 people who can kill your backline, and they're all super far ahead. So it doesn't matter if you kill Vladimir, and then there's still a bunch of other champions. So
they're gonna try popping everything out of Vladimir, and they do get the free pick onto Death Reapers. That could be gigantic here, as that should slow down this Baron Siege a lot. He will have a teleport available when he spawns, if he wants to go for a play then. But if 4EP are smart, they're gonna go for a fight here. And SUCC Squad, they don't care that they're 4v5. They're still putting the pressure down, and successfully. In both of these lanes.
Yeah.
There's actually a really good teleport ward for Sword behind there if they can get there.
Oh, but here comes the bestest one on the flank, but he has to cancel. A miscommunication out of 4 eggplants. Oh, this is so painful to watch. 4EP has no idea what they're doing. In the 4v5, they've given up an inhibitor turret, and they are damn close to giving up a second. As Crystallize gets knocked up, that's where they're finally passing go. gets the ult on Cameron. Cameron flashing out, but Death Reapers has already respawned. He is teleporting in while Flag is shredding through your backline. Oh man, this is gonna be it. All of the Yang clans going down again. The second inhibitor turret down. Fastest one down. That's an ace for the Shyvana. And GG, a 1-0 lead taken by Cammer Suck Squad in very Cammer Suck Squad fashion.
Yeah, 4AP looking for the double explosion, but they're not gonna get it. Is that still in the game?
I don't
Yeah,
think
it is.
so. I stand corrected.
It is?
I've seen it.
No?
Maybe not recently, but I saw it like a month ago.
Well, there you go. We will see who will try for the double explosion in game 2. So stick around, folks. Don't go anywhere.